The Battlefield Ghost King's Nihility skill directly hit the lava giant, creating a hole in its massive body. Before the lava giant could even react, all the skeleton warriors jumped to attack it with their swords. The skeleton warriors used their raise strike skill and finished off the lava giant. Meanwhile, Bai Lisheng was waiting outside for Lin, but suddenly heard people talking about someone breaking the dungeon record again. A subordinate of Bai Lisheng came and told him that it was Lin Moyu who had set a new record. Bai Lisheng stood up in shock and asked his subordinate how this was possible since Lin had just entered the dungeon. But his subordinate had no idea himself. Bai Lisheng heard some guys saying that this wasn't the limit for the great god Lin. They were afraid that no one could ever break that record, only great god Lin himself could do it. After a few minutes, the Fire God Palace Dungeon's Hell difficulty clear record was updated showing Lin in first place with a clear time of 1 hour and 12 minutes, and there was no second place on the list. Bai Lisheng was too shocked to see a clear time of 1 hour and 12 minutes, which was multiple times faster than the Nightmare difficulty clear record from 5 years ago. Bai Lisheng realized that Lin's true combat power was beyond his comprehension. When he looked at Lin, he saw him choosing the Hell difficulty again to raid the dungeons. Seeing that, Bai Lisheng's spirit shattered. He could hear people talking about Lin all around him. Everyone was amazed, saying that to re-enter right after getting out showed how hard-working Great God Lin really was. This was the difference between Great God and them. People started cheering for Lin, calling him the Great God Lin. Hearing all this, Bai Lisheng lost his spirit to fight back. He turned around and told his subordinates that they wouldn't be grinding this dungeon anymore. Sometime later, Lin cleared the dungeon in less time than before. After clearing the dungeon, Lin finally leveled up. Lin was now a level 28 Necromancer with an average of 740 in strength, constitution, and agility. When Lin came out of the dungeon, he heard some commotion. Everyone in the dungeon hall was surprised to see something. It was the hunters from Genesis College. People were amazed to see Genesis College hunters because they rarely appear in public, and each one of them was mysterious and arrogant. Everyone was wondering why they were here today. The Genesis College hunters were wearing some impressive equipment, including the Goblin King Ring, Flame Bug Necklace, and Wind Spirit Earrings, all boss accessories. The Genesis College hunters directly went to the Fire God Palace dungeon and chose the Hell difficulty to enter. People were surprised to see them enter the Fire God Palace, realizing that Genesis College hunters had come to clear it. While Lin was looking at the Genesis College hunters, Shu Han approached him from behind. But before she could say anything, a guy shouted, "My goodness! The Blazing Emperor College is here too." When Lin looked back, he saw hunters from Blazing Emperor College approaching the Fire God Palace dungeon. Shu Han was surprised to see them. She explained to Lin that their Xiajing Academy has 3 top colleges. Among them, Chuangshen College is at the top, while the other 2 can only compete with each other to become second place. Shu Han said they probably heard about the news of the dungeon upgrading and wanted to compete for a dungeon record. However, both of them will probably not surpass you, Lin. I'm afraid that no matter how hard they try, they can only be second best. Hearing that, Lin understood everything but felt the competition. The Blazing Emperor College hunters also chose the Hell difficulty and set off. Meanwhile, in Shengxia Academy, Bai Shen, Lord Meng, and Old Ning were also watching over them. Old Ning said, "Genesis College and Blazing Emperor College came as expected. Looks like this time, the Blazing Emperor College is going to take the lead." He added that the Blazing Emperor College would be led by the Holy Fire Knight this time. This profession has an extremely high resistance to fire elements. Coupled with the Flame Bug Ring, he probably has no need to fear the fire element. The pressure on their healers has been greatly reduced. Bai Shen told Old Ning that they can't beat Chuangshen College, so they can only compete in this kind of stuff. Bai Shen added that it's a shame, because this time, the dungeon record is dominated by that kid Lin. They will always be the second best. Suddenly, Old Ning noticed that Lin had entered the dungeon again. When Bai Shen and Lord Meng heard that, they all became curious. When Old Ning realized that Lin wanted to speed clear the dungeon, he called Lin a scoundrel. Lord Meng said, "Lin is really similar to old Bai in his youth." Bai Shen was happy to hear Lord Meng praising his disciple. He said it's good to make an impact on those arrogant people, and let them realize that there will always be someone better than them, and when Lin enters Genesis College in the future, he won't be bullied either. Old Ning was surprised to hear Bai Shen, and asked him if he was going to let Lin join Genesis College, and not that old thing's Chuangshen College. Bai Shen said, "That old thing has his favorites, and he will definitely give all his precious resources to them. There's still good stuff in Genesis College. Of course, he's going there." Hearing that, Lord Ning said, "Bai Shen, you are such a thug." On the other hand, after leveling up, All of Lin's destroyed skeletons had been replenished. Lin decided to take this opportunity to go for a speedrun. In Lin's summon inventory, there were 260 skeletons, 160 skeleton warriors, and 100 skeleton mages. Lin took out his Thanatos scythe and summoned all his skeletons. He ordered the skeleton warriors and mages to go and kill the monsters, and he also commanded them to keep all the corpses and not burn them. In just a few minutes, the skeleton warriors and mages had killed all the monsters in the dungeon. Then they went to the Fire God Castle and killed the Fire God Palace Gardener. Immediately after, Lin led his skeletons into the lava cave. There, the lava giant appeared again. Lin looked at the lava giant and said, "Long time no see. This time I've brought you some gifts." Before the lava giant could react, the skeleton warriors threw all the Fire Guard's corpses at him. Lin said, "I'm sorry, but I'm rushing for time." Saying that, he used his corpse explosion skill, and all the corpses exploded right in front of the lava giant's face. Outside the dungeon record bell started ringing again. People in the dungeon hall were shocked to see that the dungeon records had been refreshed again.